Namaste, friends. Welcome to our Words of Wisdom Gyan Ganga on our Virat Hindustan Sangam social media channels. We apologize for the technical delay we had to start this program, and we have a very interesting program today with Dr. Subramaniam Swamy and the author of the book Mahishaa-A Love Story. Mahisha, the Love Story, written by Laxmi Bayi Nalapat. And this is our episode number 172, which Virat Hindustan Sangam started on 2nd of April 2000 during the COVID lockdown. And today we have on the 172 episode. We thank our viewers for the support we have been getting. Our Sunday, the 18th of September program, which we had on the SEO Summit 2022, had a viewership of more than 1 lakh 1,350 viewers from across the globe watching it from 121 countries. As you know, we are not only on YouTube, but we are on Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, Spaces, and various podcasts and other social media channels. And you can always get our past episodes on our YouTube channel, where you can go to the Virat Hindustan Sangam section of YouTube and download or see the past episodes. So without much time, Mrs. Laxmi Bayi Nalapat will be discussing her latest book. On this In this episode, it is Navarathri time, and the subject is very appropriate. I wish our viewers across the globe a happy Navratri. नवरात्रि की शुभकामनाएं। और आज का विषय जो है वो लक्ष्मीबाई नलापत और डॉक्टर स्वामी चर्चा करेंगे लक्ष्मीबाई नलापत की नई किताब के बारे में, जो अंग्रेजी में है। तो इसी के साथ I have to thank my co-host Ramesh Swamy and Professor Arvind Chaturvedi, and our technical team led by Ashish Shetty, Tejas Navalgul, Swaminathan, Ishwar Iyer, Rakesh Gadgi, Ajesh Nair, and Vishal Mehta for their support each week to put this program together. With these words, it is over to Dr. Swamy to start the program with his introductory remarks. Over to Dr. Swamy.
Thank you, Jagdish. Today we have an authoress, if I may call it, or an author, who's written a number of poems and books. She's known as Laxmi Nalapat, but she's actually belongs to the Travancore royal family. And she's a princess, but we don't use the word princess anymore, nor does she like to be called a princess. But she's extremely well educated in Sanskrit literature, and she's also extremely religious. And today we are considering a book which is called Mahishaa-A Love Story. Now, first question in my mind is that Mahishasura was actually killed by his Durga. So, whose love story are we discussing? Mahisha's love with whom? With Durga, or who killed her, killed him, or something else? So, this she needs to explain. Second is the context today. The last 3 days of Navratri, as we are in today, is 2nd October, is actually called the Durga Ashtami. And finally, we have Vijayadashmi, the Great Victory Day. So I think it would be good because of short, we have lost some time. So I'll go straight to her and say, first, tell us how can this be a love story? This is a straight killing of a demon, Nasura. And you are now calling it a love story. Please explain that. Number two, why is this a great significance? Why is it that all the male gods failed to kill Mahishasura? How is it that ultimately you had to rely on a woman? That's Bharati, Durga, who became Kali, to do it. And what is this signal to our society? That in the end, when men fail, there's only one resource available to us, and that is the women of India. And this should demonstrate how our ancient days we regarded women in a special category. And in this context, this Mahisha-A story is a very, very appropriate story. So over to Laxmi, and let's hear from you why you wrote this book and what's the contents of this book.
Shri Mahakali Arpanam Astu. Happy Navratri to everybody, viewers, and all of you, and Dr. Swamy and the entire team of Gyan Ganga. Thank you for having me on this show. The reason why I said on my title, Mahishaa-A Love Story, is because if you read the Devi Bhagavatam, that is my source text, just as you have the Srimad Bhagavatam about Krishna, you have the Devi Bhagavatam about Bhagavati. And you find that before she kills Mahisha, actually Mahisha is a demon, okay? Asura does not exactly mean demon, okay? Asura means that which is not Sura. Mahishasura, thanks to a lot of intense tapasya, got a boon that he will be very powerful, that he will not be defeated by any Daitya Danava Deva, not Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. First, of course, he asked for immortality, and immortality is not possible for anybody because anybody who is born has to die. Then he asks for protection from everybody, but he does not mention protection from a woman. And that is the loophole, if I may use the word, through which death comes to him. If you take the Chandi Shatakam, they say, Mrityostulyam trilokim grasitumatirasa nisrita kimnu jihva kimva krishnangri padma dyutibhirarunida vishnu padya padavya, which means that which removes all negativity. She with the tongue, the she with the tongue which removes all negativity, and she whose dark feet are illuminated by the gems on the crown of the other gods who are supplicating to her. You find that many, Indra, normally, if you take our entire great literature, you find that the first person to be attacked is Indra, the king of Devas. So Mahisha takes over Indra's kingdom, and nobody can dislodge him from that. Now there are two versions. One is Bhadragali Rudrasuta Bhavanashini Shambhor Nayana Sambhuta. When the atrocities by Mahisha and his cohorts reached the ears of Shambhu, Shiva, he got very angry that he opened his third eye, and that is the Bhasma Trimetra, the eye which burns up things, and out of the fire a woman shape came, and she was given all kinds of things from the other gods, and she killed Mahisha. Now why I say this is a love story is the most common reference to Mahishasura is he's a bad guy, Devi killed him. That's it. But if you read the Devi Bhagavatam, there is a Mahisha Bhagavati Samvada. And my God, the amount of things she offers him kingship in the nether regions. She says, you're not fit to rule Indra's kingdom. That is Deva's kingdom. You're not supposed to sit on this throne, but go and rule in the nether regions. You say there are 14 worlds, Bhurbhuvasva, etc., Atala, Vitala, Sutala, downwards. So she says, go and rule there. But he says, no, I don't want that. He says, I don't want any kingdom. I don't want anything unless you are by my side. There is nothing that Mahisha wants more than her. Mahisha says, you are by my side, it's okay. If you're not by my side, it doesn't matter. And Kali very clearly, I mean, there's no ambiguity about it. She tells him, look, I have to kill you because I was created to kill you. I have no other option. And then Mahisha says, go ahead. Because life without you by my side is not worth it. So you see, Mahisha is an entity who paid such a huge price for his love. He knew it. At no point is Mahisha conned or does he think that he will, he will escape assassination. By, very ironically, by the woman he falls in love with. He doesn't plan to fall in love with her. You see, the first samagam, how she comes to Mahisha is she sits outside his fort on a lion, beautiful, full of, bedecked with jewelry and holding so many armaments. And she sings, and Mahisha hears this beautiful, sweet song. And then he sends his, Vaskala, who's one of his most um, intelligent and charming um, second in command. Says, please go and find out who, what is the singing? What is the whole thing about? Vaskala goes, and Vaskala looks at her and says, my God, she's so gorgeous. She is fit to be the spouse, the Patta Mahishi, the queen of my Mahisha, my boss, Mahisha. Okay. And he tries to persuade her. And that is, I mean, it is, even the words used by Vaskalan are they're so endearing, they're so charming. And she says, I will marry only somebody who defeats me in battle. I have taken that vow. So then Vaskala thinks, I, girl, female, beautiful. What can she know about a fight? So Vaskala decides that he will attack her, capture her, and bring her to Mahisha, with respect. But a little bit of, you can't take me and Mahisha for granted. We're all warriors. It's a man thing, not meant for, especially such a beautiful, tender woman like you. And so he fights a very, in a very, not a very serious way. He's like, okay, fine. It's a gentle battle. And then he finds that she is able to parry every one of his strikes. Then, he becomes serious about the battle. And once he becomes serious, she's also, as he ratchets up his attack, she keeps up with him. And finally, he's so angry with her by then that he rushes out. She's broken his chariot. So he rushes out with a gada to, to hit her. And just as he raises the gada, she attacks him and she kills him. But for that 1 second, Vaskala looks at her and says, my God, it's you. For that 1 second, that just 1 second before his death, he's aware that she's not an ordinary woman. She's not, some woman who's not, she's not even a warrior woman. That she is actually Adi Parashakti. She's the primal Shakti. That is why it's a love story, Dr. Swamy.
Now, you have timed your book with Navratri. What has this got to do with Navratri?
Today, I mean, I consider this a blessing. Okay, it's a total blessing that I was doing this show with you today. Okay, today of all days, because today is Ashtami and Durgashtami, and it is in the evening of Durgashtami that you put everything for puja. Okay, actually, basically, what you're doing is you're laying everything out before her so that she can look at it out. It's not that she needs us to do that. Okay, she's much beyond that. It is for our sake. It is not for her sake. We do not worship her for betterment of her situation. We do it because it betters us. And today is Ashtami, and this year, that is in 2022, um, Ashtami has to be in the evening when you put puja. So from 6:30 today to 4:30 tomorrow evening is Ashtami. After that, it is Navami, and Navami starts tomorrow evening 4:30 and goes on till the whole of Tuesday. And on Wednesday, you have Vidyarambha, which is you're starting everything new. Accountants keep their book in front of her. People, farmers keep their implements in front of her. Writers keep their, well, I keep my pen and book in front of her. I try not to write, for the next 2 days till Vidyarambham. Vidyarambham, you must. Vidyarambham, I think this year falls at around 7:15 is the most optimum time for Vidyarambham. And Vidyarambham, you have to start something new. So what I do is I open the Devi Mahatmyam randomly and read whatever passages there, one shloka. So in Navaratri, which is actually a celebration of her, you know, it is, and there is in Lalita Sahasranamam, there is Ashtami Chandra Bibhraja Dalikasthala Shobhita. She's, I mean, lots of people say that the moon is unsteady, moon is emotional, etc., etc., while the sun is very steady. Um, the moon is equated with the manas, which is the mind, and the moon is always Bhagavati. If you take Shankaracharya's Saundari Lahari, if you take the opening paragraph, it is Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yadi Bhavati Shakta Prabhavitum. Says without Shiva and Shakti, nothing will move. Shiva is Purusha, steady, whatever it is, not at all chanchal. She is Prakriti. She is that which enlivens Shiva. Otherwise, Shiva is quite happy to go and do tapas in his mountain. And who is Shiva thinking of? Shiva is thinking of Hari. The most beautiful thing about our Sanatana Dharma is everything is everything. You don't say this is not. You see, you say this is. This is. So there is no conflict between the gods. There are which is 33 crores of divinities in Hinduism. Okay, I mean known, accepted divinities. There is no conflict. You don't say that, okay, because you worship Ganesha, you don't worship Vishnu. So this totality, this acceptance, and this great freedom which each person is given to uh, worship divinity, that's something special. And the aim of every Manushya Janmam, human birth, is to merge with God. You may take million births to do that. You may take, for example, in Chinese belief, they say that Milarepa is the only person who got enlightenment in one birth, just one birth, and he is associated with Kailas Mansarovar. By the way, he got, I mean, it's very strange. You have Sri Krishna and Balarama going to Sandipani's ashram and learning. In 64 days, he learned 64 arts. That's all he needed. Now, we can, of course, ask ourselves, did God really need to go to school? Because Santipani's ashram was His school. Did he need to go to school? I mean, God is everybody who knows everything, right? In the same way, did Bhagavati need these 9 days to kill the demon? And in this Aigiri Nandini Nandita Medini Vishwa Vinodini Nandinude Girivara Vindhya Shirodhi Nivasini Vishnu Vilasini Jishnunute Bhagavati Heshiti Kantha Kudumbini Bhuri Kudumbini Bhuri Krite Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapardini Shaila Sute. This is a shloka by Shankaracharya. I recited this 108 times, apart from a lot of other things, before writing this Mahisha, before completing it. Because I told her, please show me. Show me, show me what the whole thing was. And there are temples in India where I go. Sometimes I completely deserted. Sometimes I go at night. There are very crowded temples in India where there's a lot of commerce, a lot of life happening. Okay, people buying bangles, people buying food, people buying balloons, doing archana, silk for the mother goddess. Your Mother Meenakshi temple, Dr. Swamy is one of them. Okay, but you sit there and you find one thing in common between all of them, and that is their devotion. They're going to see Ammavari. They're going to see Shiva. They're going to a temple. And that elevates them. They're all okay. There are people who go to the temple with lots of problems. They go and cry and all that. But the fact is, when they cry, they feel better. That is the necessity and the secret of our temples. Otherwise, why should we have an image for God who is Sarvavyapi? He is everywhere. He or she is everywhere. Right? Dr. Swamy.
Well, there's still a question about this title of your book. It's obviously a love one-way traffic, in the sense that it's not a love story. It is unrequited love.
Let me tell you this with great respect. If you look at the iconography, if you look at the pictures of Devi Ma killing Mahisha, okay, it is like not Mahisha Jusho, Raktathara Jayanti. She is shown holding a spear, and she puts it into his chest, Mahisha's chest, and that is how he is killed, according to the pictures. Okay, the most commonly available pictures are that of Bhagavati on her lion mount, killing Mahishasura, who is by her feet. She puts her spear into his chest and kills him. But if you actually read the ancient texts, she cuts off his head with something called Sunapha. There is a chakram. Now, everybody knows that Vishnu has a chakram as a weapon. Very few people know that Devi has a chakram called Sunapha. It's called Sunapha. And she cuts off his head. Okay. And now, if I tell you this, I would have given away the twist in my story. The twist is based on Devi Bhagavatam. It is not my own twist, okay? And when you think of Mahisha's head being chopped off, something happens there, and I don't want to talk about that, okay? Because then the suspense will go. But you find that you start thinking as to who Mahisha is. Is he just a ego bloated demon who's out to wreak havoc everywhere, or is he something else? If you take the word Mahisha, one is, of course, the obvious one, which is Mahisha, bull faced. Now you know that, you know more than me that Sanskrit has so many nuances. It's not just one meaning. Mahas means the acme. In fact, if you take the iconography, or if you take if you take Mahavishnu, for example, who has two spouses, Bhumi and Lakshmi. Bhumi is the 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 bottom half, and Mahalakshmi, again Mahas, is the top half. Actually, if you look at it, if you look at the there's a physicist called Neil Bohr,
Yeah,
Bohr.
Neil Bohr, yeah.
Yeah. If you look at his movement of the electron, you know, it is exactly, there is absolutely no difference. It goes from here to here. Same thing with the vesham, that is the poison which Shiva ingested during the churning of the ocean. It's called hala hal, correct? La is Muladharam, and it is basically the movement of the Kundalini. It's called hala hala. Unfortunately, we have nobody to teach us things like that. We accept the most obvious, the least researched thing, and we accept it. If you actually look, if you look at Kali, or if you look at knowledge, because I believe that Kali and knowledge are, they're the same, they're interchangeable. Okay, Vidya, she's Vidya. That's what she says. She's Vidya as well as Avidya, which is ignorance. She is like an ocean, huge ocean, Pacific, right? I think Pacific is the biggest. If I'm not mistaken, my geography is not one of my strong points. Um, we are like small plastic buckets, which kids used to play on the beach. Our capacity is only that much. What a kid can hold. And the more you study, the more you read, you realize that you know nothing. We are not even paddling. We're just watching, we're seeing the sea. And the sad thing is we have this wealth of knowledge. Okay, I mean, Neil Bohr came, I don't know when, but this is there in our ancient texts. The sad thing is that nobody has told us. Even yoga got imported to US, and it came back, and everybody's like, wow, yoga. It was there. It was there with Patanjali. And one of the stories which I really, really love about Bhagavati, about Parvati, actually the entire knowledge of human beings is Shiva Parvati Samvadam. In fact, in my last chapter, it is Shiva Parvati Samvadam, which will tell you the secret because it is a secret about Mahisha. And so Shiva's taught Patanjali all these yogic asanams, and Parvati says, I can't be bothered with all these complicated things. So he tells her, okay, fine, do only the Padmasana. In another story, um, you know, there is a Vishnu Sahasranam, 1,000 names of Vishnu, and then Parvati says, and then Shiva says, Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Rama Nama Varanane. If you just say Rama, 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 it is equivalent to saying the Vishnu Sahasranama. And Rama, the word Rama, you have the Ra from the Narayana and the Ma from Namah Shivaya. See how everything is interconnected. You look at one connection, you see another connection. The system of knowledge is like, and please there is no Google, right? There's no Wikipedia. And we have that. And we are blessed. Actually, we are blessed to, just to just to hear this. You see, Dr. Swamy.
Okay. I have two questions before my colleagues will ask you some clarifications or express their views. First is for those of us who are listening to this program and so on. Some of them may have gone through English medium schools or convent schools, etc. I'd like you to just briefly tell us what are we celebrating in Vijay Dashmi?
Okay. Vijay Dashami, again, at the surface, is the victory of good over evil. The one line, the most simple definition. Okay, and it is also the day when all the ignorance is taken out and you learn. It is Vidyarambham. You say it is Vidya plus Arambham, the beginning of Vidya. What is Vidya? It is not, 5, 10 certificates of whatever it is on your wall. It is not. It is knowledge. And it is also a new beginning. You also rest your work, whether it's your farm implements, whether it's your computer, whether it's your pen, whether it's your let's say you're a singer, you rest your instruments. Let's say you're a painter, you put everything in front of. In fact, in Kerala it is called puja veip, which means putting everything for puja. You're giving it to her. It's not that she needs, like I said, you don't have to tell her, but as a mark of love. Let's say you have good news, you call up somebody you love and tell them. You share it, right? For me, she is, in the sense, she's not a divinity which is distant. She's immediate. She's inside me. She's outside of me. You see, she's everywhere. She's this phone I'm speaking into. And except that, when you go to a temple, you see her in a certain form. Even if there is no temple, you're sitting. I mean, a lot of my recitation I do when I'm sitting in a car. I travel a lot by car, as all of you know, and it's I don't know. There's an immediacy about her, and you are just sharing this, and this is something which also, I mean, biologically speaking, you say that you work very hard, then you need some rest, right? You also need rest. That is now accepted in medicine. This is rest. You're giving yourself, your buddhi, everything, you're giving a rest, and you're resting it by her feet, so that she will take care of it. She will cleanse it. She will give you the relaxation, and then she will, for me personally, she will rejuvenate me. It is like Ayurvedic massage actually. And she is the oil, she is the bench, she is the one who massages. You're just lying there relaxed. Lema, dekh, Kali dekh, mere andar kya hai? What is inside me? See.
Yeah. One last short question. You and your husband, Monu Nalapat, have come to my house. And you just now said that the Durga or Kali killing Mahishaa-A Asura is not what really happened. She actually cut his head. So that painting which I have put in my above me, which later on maybe our cameraman, Ramesh or someone can focus on the picture. Should I keep that picture or
keep? I mean, I know I'm jumping in before you finish your question, but
you said that That's not reality, you said.
No, that is not how it is written in the ancient texts.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Vinashayashme Shatrun Bhitva Shulena Vakshasi. They say, that is a prayer to her which says, any enemy of mine, please handle them. Vinashayashme Shatrun Bhitva Shulena Vakshasi. Break open his chest with your shulam.
Yeah.
And if you look at her armaments, my God, it's like a list. It's like a shopping list of of weapons.
Yes.
Khadgam, Kheda, Kabala, just like so many things. So
Yes.
somehow this story of the Sunapa appealed to me personally. You see, I loved it.
Okay.
And as Sanatana Dharma allows, and I have seen that picture in your house. Okay, please, Haath jod ke, I'm begging you, don't give
Can
it
you
to
show it, Ramesh?
anyone.
Can
Don't
Ramesh
give it
show
to
it now?
anyone. Actually, there are two, right?
Yeah,
There is
I
an
know.
older one and
Yes.
there is a newer one, if I remember right.
Yes.
Please keep both with you. Please. Especially I'm telling you this during Navratri, so please.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Over to you.
I have, Lakshmi, I have one question, not one, actually, three questions
Okay.
related to the first sloka that you recited on Aigiri Nandini. This Aigiri Nandini, of course, there is a question whether it was written by Shankaracharya, because I've also read after the Mahishasura Mardini, the Mahishasura assassination, Lord Vishnu sang it in praise of Durga. And if Lord Vishnu sang it, it could not have been written by Shankaracharya, but that is an issue which maybe only the people who know about this can write. Now, my question is, this is a 21 slokas, and you have been reciting it several times, and you can do it very well. If I read the last line of the every sloka that you have, Jai Jai He Mahishasura-Mardini Ramya ke Pardini Shailaswate. Now, this line, when you translate in Hindi, I mean, I have done it, seen the translation in Hindi. This actually does not praise Parvati Durga about the valor or the power, but it says about the hair, beauty of the hair. It says, हे महिषासुर का मर्दन करने वाली भगवती, आपके बालों की लता से आकर्षित करने वाली पर्वत की पुत्री, तुम्हारी जय हो, जय हो, जय हो.
Correct.
Number one.
Arvind,
Number one.
Can I answer that?
Yes.
Arvind, don't you know that beauty is one of the great weapons?
Sure.
Because Mahishasur looked at her and saw her. There is also one problem. There is one problem which, according to me, I don't know if I'm being, hyper. There is one problem which is happening worldwide. Okay, we are made of 5 sheets, correct? Annamaya Kosham, physical body. Manomaya Kosham, mind. Then what is it? Pranamaya Kosham, the breath. Vijnanamaya Kosham, which is knowledge, and Anandamaya Kosham, which is the ultimate. Now, we, unfortunately, if you look at temple architecture, you find all this coalescing into one. The Garbhagriha is the Anandamaya Kosham. That is where you see God and you're on a high. Otherwise, if you're not on a high, please don't go to a temple. That is my request to you, please. Because temple is it's a sacred place, right? It's not right? Now, Annamaya Kosham, which is a physical body, she is so beautiful. So Ramya Kapardini, it is she with her beautiful hair. I agree with you. Actually, I loved this, okay? Because lots of people just listen to the Jai Jai He Mahishasura Mardini. They don't listen to the
Ramya ke Pardini
correct. Ramya Kapardini they miss somehow. They don't take it. It's a wonderful question. It's a really wonderful question. I enjoyed it.
In my childhood, my father used to recite. He was a great follower of this the Durga, and during Navratra he used to recite this, the last sloka. Now, one more controversy about this 21 sloka Aigiri Nandini. This is about the who should recite and what should be the benefit accrued to these people. And what is said in the review of this, Vedanta Brahma Syat, that last one, you say, from reciting this text, the Brahmins will achieve the knowledge of Vedanta. The warriors will achieve, that is Kshatriya. Warriors will achieve victory. Naturally, warriors want victory, Brahmins want Vedanta. Merchants, that is Vaishya, will become wealthy. And the Shudras will achieve happiness. Now you say, why this controversy? Why Brahmins can't get happiness? Or why warriors can't get happiness? Or is it that when Brahmins will get the control over Vedanta, and that will give them the happiness, or when Vaishyas will get the wealth, they will become wealthy, that will give them happiness? What is your interpretation of this?
See, I'll tell you one thing. This is in fact a very hot subject, and that is casteism. Casteism in Sanatana Dharma, right? Now, I fully believe, Janmane Jayeti Shudra, Karmane Jayeti Bahudha. Okay? So, Dr. Swamy, for example, Dr. Swamy, for example, is doing the work of a Kshatriya. He's fighting.
Okay.
He's born a Brahmin, but according to his karma, he's a Kshatriya. Now what happens is,
he has been a professor, so he is a Brahmin.
So he's gone from Brahmin to Kshatriya.
Okay.
And see, please understand, Arvind, there is nothing called higher, lower, nothing. See, it is like is a doctor, for example, is a doctor more highly placed than an architect? You go to a doctor when you want medical help, you go to an architect when you want to build a house. You don't exchange the two, right? So the only, please understand, I mean, I'm underlining the word only. The only advantage which we have by birth only is that in a Brahmin household, okay, you are more likely, again underline, to be exposed to Vedas, whatever it is. Okay. And so on and so forth. But if people are interested, ladies could recite the Vedas in ancient times. Now the sad thing is priests of temples are not aware. They don't know how to chant. There is something called Akshara Shuddhi. You know that. Like when you say Sanskrit, you can't, there's a difference between dha and da. Correct? So all that has to come when you
adatu. Okay.
Yes. So, and in any case, each person's happiness is a very personal thing. What makes you happy may not make me happy. So I believe, go and ask her. She knows. Like I said, she knows, but go and ask her. Because it makes me feel good, okay? Makes me feel very good when I say, "Dekh, aisa hai. मैंने लिखा है तेरे बारे में." I've told her this. As if she's the writing, she's the ink, I wrote it by hand, okay? I wrote this entire thing mostly by hand and then keyed it into the computer. Fortunately, you don't need much technological savvy to key it into a computer, unlike, getting online or whatever. So you see.
Jagdish.
Okay. Yes, my question to LaxmiBayi is that this is the 9 days of Navarathri we are all celebrating like every year. What is that speciality of the Sanatan Dharma that women goddess or women are respected in Sanatan Dharma? Can you just elaborate a little more on that? Many other religions do not have this concept of celebrating womanhood, celebrating the female goddesses as much as we have in Sanatan Dharma. So I want you to tell us a little bit more on this aspect of Sanatan Dharma about woman Devi, whatever you call it in various forms, the importance of this in Hinduism or Sanatan Dharma?
I feel very, very sorry for any religion which denigrates women, but who think that women are, it's okay. That, they can be ignored. If you take Juno, if you take Isis, all those gods also, they had great importance for the women. Freya, Frigga in Norse, they had equal importance, if not more. Okay, and look at us. We have Hari with Lakshmi. When Lakshmi left Hari, he became Daridra Narayan, which is he became broke. He had no money. You see, and Saraswati is Brahma is the creator, but she is the knowledge. And look at Shiva. Shiva's the word Shiva. Okay, in Sanskrit, you take up Ikaram is always Bhagavati. You take off the Ikaram, he becomes Shava. So it is, and see it. Please, I don't believe. I mean, I'm sorry. Lots of people may not like what I say. I don't believe in women's liberation. Please, I don't believe in. I'm sorry. I don't believe in it. I think everybody, a man has his stature or his position in society, so does a woman. I don't want to be like a man. You see, the whole problem is that many times I find that by looking at what others have and trying to get what others have, you lose out on your own. Think of all Saraswati is worshipped at, I mean, there are places where for the entire Navaratri it is only Saraswati Puja, only Saraswati Puja. Brahma, as you know, is not worshipped because in India, because he lied. In the middle of Shiva, Vishnu goes down to find out the feet of Shiva. Brahma goes up to find the head of Shiva. Okay, and they say we'll meet after 6 months back. And Vishnu goes for 3 months. He can't find Shiva's feet, so he comes up. Brahma is going up, and then he finds it's called Tarambu. I think it's called Ketaki. I'm not sure what the North Indian name is, but in Malayalam it's called Tarambu. He finds a Tarambu falling, and he asks the Tarambu, "Where did you fall from?" So he said, I'm falling from Shiva's head, and I've been falling for 1 year. But I haven't reached, anywhere. So Brahma says, "You do one thing. You tell Vishnu that you're falling from Shiva's head, and I'm coming with you." So he will naturally assume that I am also falling from Shiva's head. So Tarambu and Brahma come and tell Shiva this, and Shiva gets very angry, and he says, "Brahma will never be worshipped by himself except at Pushkar." Okay, and he's worshipped as Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha, but never per se. But Lakshmi is worshipped in Kolhapur, Mahalakshmi, in Nachiyar, so many places, and Kali Durga is worshipped in, I mean, like, I can't name the temples, so many. From Kanyakumari, the Virgin Goddess in Kanyakumari, you have her as a bindu, the dot in the middle of the Sri Chakram. Okay, and you have her as I mean, so many forms. There is a Nakudi. She's mongoose faced. The goddess who's mongoose faced, and she is the balancer. Please, not the opposite. Okay, of the snake goddess, Sarpeshwari. Sarpeshwari is sitting under a snake with holding two snakes in her hands, and those snakes are not poisonous reptiles. They are knowledge. They're both physical and spiritual knowledge. That is why the Kundalini is, it's from your Mooladharam to your Sahasraram. Mooladharam is Bhagavati, Sahasraram inverted, the 1,000-petal lotus, inverted lotus on your head is Shiva. You have exactly the same thing in Japanese and Chinese philosophies. It is called He or Chi. I think Dr. Swamy should know it, which means 8, right? It's the same thing.
Yes.
So you see, look at the commonality.
Ramesh,
And
You have your last question.
And Jagdish, I think we are coming to a close. So most of the questions Arvind already asked. There's only one thing. I mean, Laxmi, you can agree or disagree with me. Even all these demons or whatever asuras we call is just is a manifestation of what we are. Not physically. Mahisha is not physically a person. There is another thought. If you look at an Advaita Siddhanta, there's all these things are manifestations of what are. It could be Kama, Krodha. It could be any of it. It could just be a manifestation that Devi quells. And that is one other interpretation I have heard from Paramacharya. So that's what I just thought I will through something that even though we call him Mahisha as a demon, whether he lived or not lived is not the issue. The issue is philosophically, we say that he forms one of the, a very crude word to use is sin. It is not a sin. It is one of the things that we have. And that, how do you quell it? Only the Devi can quell. And as I always said, even in some of the things, all gods are always prefixed with the Devi. It's only Lakshmi Narasimha, it's Lakshmi Narayana. It's not Narayana Lakshmi. Right? You always use the Stree first, and then only the Lord comes. So even there we have precedents that the lady, the Ambal is always said in front before the Devata comes. The Devi is always in front before the Devata. Even the word Sri, even if Sri is actually wealth, which is basically attributed to Lakshmi, Devi, whatever you want to call it. You Sriman, Srimati, everything is Sri is the first word. So those are the thoughts that I wanted to share. That's all.
no, that's true, because ultimately, if you conquer yourself, you have conquered everything. But then I would like to add one more thing. As far as I am concerned, there is the 5 Kosha of Mahishasura. I believe, okay, firmly believe. I fully respect what you said, Ramesh. It's not that I'm denigrating what you said, of course. But
no, I'm not saying what I heard. I'm not saying what I've heard. Is what I'm telling you.
For me, it is so. I mean, please. There is a book called Devi. Please read it. It is by Ramesh Menon. It's not a translation of the Devi Bhagavatam, but that book has so much about Devi. It is called Devi. The name of the book is Devi. Ramesh Menon. Please read it. You will find Radha. Actually, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no reference about Radha. Can you believe it? I mean, who's going to believe it? There is only one oblique sentence where the other Gopikas are saying, oh, there is only one pair of footsteps. He must have carried her. That's it. Her. No mention of Radha. Can you believe it? But if you take if you take Devi Bhagavatam, my God, it is full of Radha. In fact, they come to Radha and say, please, can you allow Krishna Avatar? It's like that. You see? And the beauty, Ramesh, beauty is that everything you get a tick mark, no? You can have a Kore Samharavanno, very angry goddess, Kore. Just the beginning is like that. Samharavanno, she who's the fire of destruction. And it goes on like that. Okay. Then you have something called Shanti Durga, which is Durga in the most peaceful form. So you see, it's actually like if you look at Sanatana Dhamma, it is like it's like I'm sorry if it sounds funny, it's like a blood bank to a vampire. Because it's huge. It's huge. And I would say just go and jump into it, enjoy it. Jump into it from anywhere. You want to jump in from Matsya? Fine. You want Ayyappa? Ayyappa is an avatar of Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra has Purna and Pushkala as his wives, okay, as his wives, yeah, wives. And but when Ayyappa comes to Kerala, he's a bachelor, and you have all that nonsensical controversy about that. See, so it depends on what you want. It depends on what you're in sync with.
To conclude, who published your book?
Vitasta. There's somebody called Renu Kaul. She understood that. She understood Mahisha. And my editor is from Bengal. She's wonderful. Her name is Pri. And I also have a wonderful illustrator, also from Bengal. His name is Arya Praharaj. And the designer is Mishra. Actually, if you look at the cover, you find half is Mahisha and half is Devi. Actually, Mahisha is merging into her. I shall not tell you because Moksha, Ravana.
Yes.
Dr. Swamy, you're one of the gods who you hold very dear to you, and what you have done for Ram Janmabhoomi. What happened to Ravana? Ravana was so obsessed about Ram. He was single-minded in thinking about Ram that he merged into Ram. So everything is you come from one divinity, you take birth as whatever, you go down, it's a circle, and then you get back to where you came from. That is the essence of our philosophy. It's not linear, it's not jerky, it's one beautiful. Maybe the circle is big, maybe it's so huge, like you can't, if you stand on earth, you can't make out that it is round, right? It took me many years to be convinced that the earth is round. I was like, won't you fall off? Those kind of things. Okay. And it's like that. The circle is so huge and encompassing that you don't see it's a circle. You see only bits of it. But if you look at it,
Jagdish.
and it's such a lovely thought that you're finally going to go and curl up in her.
Arvind.
Laxmi, it's time to wind up. One question which has been bothering me for several years now, and since you are so knowledgeable about the various forms of Durga, I will ask you. We celebrate only 9 Durgas, 9 forms of Durgas, Brahmacharini, Chandraghanta, or whatever you have. You have yourself named in this program a couple of minutes ago. There are various other forms like Tapeshwari Devi, there is Shanti Durga, I know Kaila Devi, Mansha Devi, which is worshipped. If I go to Madhya Pradesh, you have several other forms of Goddess Durga. How many different forms Goddess Durga has, and why only 9 are chosen for these 9 days? This is my last question, and I think it will benefit a lot of viewers who have this kind of query, and I had this query for a long time.
I don't know if I'm qualified to answer you. God bless me. If you take, you have divinity, Godhead, which is a big, vast thing, which is undefined, right? Then, for example, the 9 Durgas which is there in North India is not there in Kerala.
Okay.
We have just Saraswati, Lakshmi, Parvati. Okay. And just 3 forms, basically. And Masoba, I think in Maharashtra, Jagdish, Masoba actually is Mahisha, and he is married to the Bhagavati after she kills him. It's like resurrection. It's there in the Fisher King, in T.S. Eliot's Fisher King also. It's like, where do you go? If you are part of divinity, you come from divinity, where do you go?
No, Mumbai, for example, you have Lakshmi Mumba Devi. Mumba Devi is one of the worshipped, and we have in South, our own VHS people have been saying Mukambika. I mean, there are so many different forms and localized. Where do these forms come from, and what kind of literature
you have answered your question. You have answered your question yourself, Arvind. It is localized. Because if you take even the Vedas, right? Vedas, you have Ratha and Jada. You have India is divided into 3: Ashokrantha, Ratha Kranta and Vishnu Kranta. Ashok Kranta on top, Ratha Kranta in the middle, and Vishnu Kranta down, south. Same Vedas, same 4 Vedas. But the way your Ucharanam, the way you say it, differs. Likewise, worship goes from place to place to place. You see, so it is the belief of the local people, right? And unfortunately or fortunately, we do not have written records of how worship has come down. We are a very audio nation. Vedas are not taught.
One of the viewers has in the comments has answered, and now it is on your screen. Why we celebrate only 9 days, and that is because Bhagwan Ram had worshipped 9 different forms of Devi before he killed Ravana. So maybe it is linked with Vijayadashmi, only 9 forms. But as we say, in prevailing in this country, in Sanatan Dharma, there are so many unlimited forms of goddess which are all localized. Yes. Thank you very much.
And thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Swamy. And may Kali bless every one of you and everybody in your family and all you love. Shri Mahakali Arpan. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Swamy. It was such a subject and so timely. As Jagdish had mentioned in the beginning, that we are celebrating Navaratras, and every Navaratra we worship 9 different forms of goddess, and penultimate day we have Navami, and then Vijayadashmi, which is also linked with Bhagwan Ram. Thank you, Dr. Swamy, for choosing this subject today, which was timely because of Laxmi's book, which was released, Mahishaa. Laxmi, thank you very much. You're so knowledgeable. We all enjoy talking to you. You have been in our Gyan Ganga program several times, and every time you bring us the treasure of knowledge. Thank you so much for enriching this program.
I know. Okay, I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
is your book on Amazon?
Yes, it is on Amazon.
All right.
Okay,
please buy.
So this is also for the benefit of viewers. Laxmi's book is available on Amazon, and the title itself could be very provocative or controversial, but as she has narrated different things, and I think this Bitasta publications also that you mentioned, they've been publishing books of this kind, which have been raising questions in the society also related to Sanatan Dharma. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you, Jagdish, for being with us and conducting this program so successfully. 172 episodes we have already completed. Thanks the technical team led by Ashish Shetty, Gadgi Rakesh, Ishwar Iyer, Swaminathan, Tejas, Vishal Mehta, and Ajesh Nair. We will be meeting in this sequence again next Sunday, 8 o'clock, with Dr. Subramanian Swamy and another topic. Though on Twitter, Dr. Swamy has mentioned the new topic, but we'll discuss what new topic Dr. Swamy will bring in. And there are several people who have been making suggestions about the topics to be taken up or the experts to be brought in. Thank you, viewers, for supporting us. We'll be meeting next Sunday, 8 p.m. Till then, Namaskar. Jai Hind.